Happy Easter, everyone, and welcome to Order, the place where we answer questions that nobody asked. Robot 64 is a 3D platformer filled with numerous movement mechanics, and you'd expect that in order to beat it, you would require to jump a lot. Right? That's what I'm here to find out today. I'm here to find out if you can beat Robot 64 without jumping. With a moveset as expansive as Robot 64's, we're gonna have to discuss what counts as a jump. Obviously, jumps and double jumps are banned, but I'm also going to say bond jumps, backflips, wall jumps, and jumping off poles are off the charts as well. This restricts our movement down to diving, spinning, and hopping up from a ledge. It goes without saying that we're going to need to get a bit creative if we want to beat the game with just this moveset. Which is exactly why it's ironic that we can't even beat the tutorial without jumping. As far as I know, it is physically impossible to make it to the end. However, since this is a tutorial, I'm going to count this as an exception, meaning we make our way to the hub and begin the run properly. If you're gonna name mistakenly named ice cream, we do a trick called a corner climb. By starting a wall run, running off of the wall, and then spinning back onto it, we can repeat the process in order to climb up walls. We use this trick to get our second ice cream before even entering the observatory. After that, we head down into the observatory and enter the first world, Turtle Tops. Always wash your hands is in a sub-area, and despite requiring a bit of tricky platforming, we get through it without any major issues. We're able to easily hunt 8 eggs underwater, and across the spinning platforms just requires a bit of corner climbing. Making it up the mountain is surprisingly easy, and once we make it to the top, we're able to get the jetpack. Now that we have the jetpack, we're able to catch all 10 fireflies, and win the race against Speed Boy to the top of the mountain. Only to run into a different problem. The only way to get off of a pole is to jump, and without jumping, we don't have enough height to get the ice cream. My solution to this, however, was to finagle my way up the top of the pole until we got the ice cream. As for getting off of it, all we need to do is just reload to the hub. We then go back into Turtle Tops, get the jetpack, wing to the sky, and go to the first impossible ice cream. Do I even need to say anything here? All in all, 6 out of these 7 obtainable ice creams are actually possible to get. A pretty good indicator for how the rest of the run's going to go. And with that, we move on to the second world of the game, Naughty's Resort. The only difficult part about scoring radical points is getting the ice cream, and the only thing we need to do that is just dive on the man's head. It's also as easy to get the guards to take a swim, and with that we can move into the hotel. When it comes to feeding the black hole, actually feeding it is the easy part. There are enough items scattered around the floor in order to get it. Getting the ice cream, however, is a different story. It spawns way too high up for us to get it by any means that we have available. I tried diving off of the man's head for a solid 3 minutes, but even that didn't work. So I'm gonna throw in the towel and say that this ice cream is impossible. The infested maze has the exact same problem as the black hole. We simply don't have enough height to reach the ice cream. I tried getting one of the shaggles, yes, that is what they're called, to try and get a boost, but their AI is so whack that I'm not sure pathfinding even exists on them. In stark contrast to the previous 2 ice creams, it is insanely easy to just corner climb up on the chompin' dudes, and the fight with Naughty himself is rather uneventful. However, Naughty is able to be pushed around and picked up after the fight, so I figured that maybe I could revisit the other 2 ice creams and use the extra height in order to get them. But no such luck. The last ice cream, floating with flowers, is one that I'm not entirely sure about. To even get to the sub-area in the first place, we need to corner climb on top of the hotel, and then dive down into the sub-area. And then things only get worse from there. So remember how we're not allowed to jump off of ropes? Yeah, well, our path is blocked by a rope. My solution to this was to dive around and then corner climb on one of the pillars to try and get to the next platform, which actually worked. We then, unfortunately, get hit by yet another roadblock in the form of these spinning discs. These discs are too high for us to reach by just diving, so I tried to do something a little crazy. I tried to use the little bounce you get after a dive to combo into another dive and get the ice cream. However, after 5 minutes of attempts, even that didn't work. So while there might be some tricks that I'm not aware of that you can use to get every ice cream in Nadia's Resort, I was only able to get 4 out of the 7. Which leads us to the third world of the game, the Hecklands. I started out Hecklands by grabbing the skateboard, bullying Job for an ice cream, and then racing Speedboy to the top of the mountain, where we did the same trick we did in Turtle Tops to get the ice cream. Unfortunately, that's where our luck runs out. Tricky jumps and dives is impossible for obvious reasons, and we can't go down a dark hallway or get all 8 eggs because they're locked behind a tree. Thankfully, lava and water is possible to get. All we need to do is just dive down into it from above and get the ice cream with relative ease. The final ice cream, the showdown with the Heck Lord, goes the same as normal, meaning that we get 4 out of these 7 available ice creams. Candy Aquarium is the obligatory 3D platformer water level, which is great news for us because we can't jump underwater to begin with. This means that we get every single ice cream with no problems. With one exception. Yet again, I feel like this one speaks for itself. Before I moved on to Tiny Huge Bedroom, I decided to get the remaining hub ice creams. I got the one behind the mirror before entering Tiny Huge Bedroom, and didn't get the fire slide until after, but they're both incredibly easy. I set up the computer in like 5 seconds, and then corner climbed up to the top of the desk to get this die. I then dived down onto the floor to return that die, filled out my homework, and then corner climbed up onto this nightstand in order to dive down onto the bed. I had a bit of trouble here realizing that I couldn't get enough height due to me spinning, but it was fixed by just simply walking onto the only part of the bed that didn't bounce. This allows us to get up on the shelf and up on the nightstand to swing with wires, only to realize that all of our movement options have been removed, making this one impossible. Playing the piano is doable, albeit a bit tedious, and this just gives me flashbacks to Nadia's Resort. This means that we get 5 out of the 7 available, entering the final world, New Neo City. My first order of business here was to corner climb up this building to get the jetpack, because I knew that once I got the jetpack, I could get every single ice cream in the overworld. As for the sub-areas, we actually have 2 more ice creams than are required to reach Planet Kababulon, and since we don't need to do any of the levels there, we can hop on the scooter, extinguish the sun, and confirm that yes, you can beat Robot 64 without jumping. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm sorry that this video didn't get released as early as I wanted it to. School and personal life got in the way, so I couldn't edit it as much as I wanted. But I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. If you really wanted to join the Roblox group, then here it is. And as always, have a good one.